politics and about funding politics, specifically the Labour Party in the UK, although it actually looks kind of going into some wider issues, but it's basically because of that. There's nothing particularly difficult. Blah, blah, blah. No, there's no. You obviously, Labour trade unions traditionally support the Labour movement. If you understand that, then the rest of it's quite easy. And there's no difficult vocab at all. So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It seems these days a lot of people hate politicians, which is probably quite fair given some of the things they do. But nevertheless, a lot of what politicians do is quite important for everyone in our everyday lives. Even if we do think that some of them can be some very shallow, facetious individuals. And I'd like to talk about one particular aspect of politics, which is a rather dry subject, but it's actually quite an interesting subject as well. And that's the funding of political parties. And also I'm going to, as I said, use the UK context and look particularly at the Labour Party in the UK for a reason that will become clear if you follow the vagaries of political party funding in the UK. Then you'll probably know where this is coming from. In the UK, all political parties are open to donations. If you want to give money, that's fine. Over a certain limit, you have to declare who you are, but you can pretty much give as much money as you want. However, the Labour Party is obviously linked to the trade union movement, and trade unions do always traditionally support the Labour Party. When you join a trade union, or this is how things used to be, when you joined a trade union, you automatically paid an affiliation fee to the Labour Party. Not a membership fee. You didn't become a member of the Labour Party. You paid an affiliation fee because trade union supported the Labour Party, and so you paid a fee. And current trade union membership in the UK is about 3 million people per year. So 3 million people every year were paying the small affiliation fee to the Labour Party. And then following on from that, if you want to join the Labour Party itself, you have what's called an opt-in, and you can then become a full member and pay even more. Now, obviously, this is quite a beneficial situation for the Labour Party. They're not against it. But the situation is going to change. And obviously the question you'd ask yourself is, why are they going to change something which they like? Why are they going to change something that provides revenue stream for them and that supports them? It seems stupid. I don't know if anyone's ever been to Scotland, but if you have, you may have heard of a town called Falkirk. Now, last year in Falkirk, there was a by-election, so a local election, and the results of the election were fixed. They were tampered with, and the trade unions in Falkirk tampered with the results of the elections so that the candidate that they wanted was elected rather than a different candidate. Now, when this came out in the press, this obviously created quite an uproar, and not only was there a lot of problems with the people involved, it brought into question this whole idea of the automatic affiliation when you join a trade union. Why should, if I join a trade union, that doesn't necessarily mean I want to give money to the Labour Party. I may support one of the other political parties. So this automatic nature of the affiliation fee was brought into question. The Labour Party at the time, the reaction was to say, okay, fine, the only real reaction you can do is to say, we'll stop this automatic affiliation fee. It's optional, it's still there, but it's not automatic. People have to choose to do it. Now, obviously, you can... It's fairly easy to predict what the result of this is going to be, that there's going to be a lot less people who pay this automatic affiliation fee, and therefore a lot less money going into the Labour Party. And just to give you an idea, figures from 2012, this Conservative Party received £24 million. The Labour Party, and I find this quite surprising, £33 million, more than the Conservatives, and the Lib Dems £6 million. Now, I say it's surprising because traditionally you generally assume that rich people support the Conservative Party, and a lot of the major donations you see, there's people giving £2 million, £3 million to a political party, normally goes to the Conservatives. So I found it was quite surprising that the Labour Party had more. Of the Labour Party's 33 million, 8 million came from this automatic affiliation fee. So this all raises the question in conclusion, how should political parties be funded? There's obviously... The people who get more votes should have more power, but to a certain degree it's the people who have more money can get more votes, so they can get more power. But there shouldn't be, in theory, a link between money and power. It should be a direct link between voters, normal people, and powers. So there is an alternative, which would be fixed funding levels from the government. The government gives you X amount to run your political party, whatever it is, and everyone earns... everyone has exactly the same amount of money, which sounds like it creates a level playing field, but the problem with that is it creates what's referred to as an incumbent benefit. The party in power always actually has more money because they have their grant from the government that everyone gets, plus they have all the departments and media budgets, etc., etc. So how do you then deal with that? It's a complex question, and I don't have the answer. Thank you very much.